And as we descend into the brew, it doesn't hurt or burn as you may expect. It nourishes us, it cleanses us. We are imbued with the love and wisdom of all who surround us. And as our energies are transmuted, we emerge reborn with everything we need to become our best selves, on the promise of her love and guidance, should we only ever ask. We bid them farewell and travel upwards through the layers of the earth, up to the roots at your feet, up through your legs, and with every breath we draw upwards. You can feel the transmuted energy spread up past the root, the sacral and the solar plexus into the heart, and up past the throat. And as it passes the third eye, you feel it flicker open, and you continue up and out through the crown. And take a deep breath in. You travel up through the roof, outwards up to the clouds, into the crisp, pure stillness of the clear night sky, and through the atmosphere into the vast expanse of space. You travel towards a beautiful star. This is your star mother, who holds the wisdom of all that is and ever will be. She folds you into a warm embrace. Take a deep breath in and express your gratitude to the universe. You look back behind you and absorb the miracle and splendour that is our beautiful earth. And as you begin to travel towards her through space, back through the atmosphere and the stillness of the night sky, and back towards your physical self, you enter through the crown and past your third eye and throat and back to your heart space, and take a deep breath in. As the heart center absorbs the wondrous magical energy, the light within it ignites and expands. And with every breath, you push outwards, and you share this wonderful energy with your loved ones, with your community. And as all of our energies here tonight join together, they expand around the world. And as we do so, we send healing. We surround it with love and joy and compassion. Take a deep breath in. And when you're ready to open your eyes, may we all have love and gratitude for each and every one of us here tonight. Blessed be.
Turn with me in your mind's eye to the northwest. Crikoi, Cerridwen, initiatrix. From your cauldron we are born, from your cauldron we survive. From your cauldron you give love and give light. Allow us to come and be reborn from that cauldron into this dark time above us to show the light that we are. We breathe your energy in. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen, initiatrix. We welcome you to our circle. Blessed be.
North. Creso, Cerridwen of air. Cerridwen of every breath we take. Cerridwen who inspires us with poetry and song and dance. Lady who helps us to enjoy our music and take it deep into our bodies where we sway in time. Like the leaves that are now dancing in the breeze with the autumn. We breathe your airy energy in. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen of air. We invite you into our centre. Blessed be.
I ask you to take your attention to the east, the place of the rising sun. I play Croeso, Cerridwen of fire. You are in the gentle flame that licks beneath the cauldron. No longer the heat and energy of the midday sun. You are now gentle and soft, keeping the brew as a gentle simmer, for the potion must never boil over. You are in the flame that is the light that guides us. You are the bringer of light, the light that inspires us as we lay within your cauldron in the darkness. I breathe your fiery energy in with gratitude. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen of fire. And I bring the energy back to the center of our circle.
Turn with me the direction of the south. Croeso, Cerridwen of water, dark mother who has dominion over all the oceans, through to the rivers and the streams and the brooks, to the tiniest droplet of water of rain. She who minds our emotions, our tears, every drop of blood that passes around our body. We humbly ask you to join us tonight, to bring your care to us, to bring us your wisdom through these trying times. We breathe your energy in. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen of the waters. We bring your energy back to the center of our circle. Blessed be.
Sisters, please turn to the west in your mind's eye. Welcome, Cerridwen of earth. Cerridwen, ground us in your earth energy. Help us to stay solid and rooted at this difficult time. Cerridwen, as you take us into the stillness of winter, give us that earth energy to be calm and to be collected in this difficult, frantic world we live in at the moment. Help us see clarity on what we deal with each day, and help the earth energies keep us grounded in our love for each other. Cerridwen, we breathe your energy in with gratitude. Oh, hail and welcome, Cerridwen of earth. Please turn with me back to the center.
Welcome to the center. Croeso, Cerridwen, Lady of Mystery and Magic, she who stirs the cauldron, bringing transformation to all who seek her, drawing your spirit in with her fire. She who leads her children through thresholds with love, support. She who shrouds us with mystery, only to reveal the lesson when the time is ready. We breathe your complete energy in. Hail and welcome, Cerridwen, Lady of Mystery and Magic. Blessed be this circle, blessed be.
Hello, I'm going to share a poem with you which I wrote this week. I imagine I'm not alone in finding it hard to sleep at the moment. There's so many things to think about and anxieties, especially in the last couple of weeks. And that's what this poem is about. And also about Cerridwen and how she helps me to get through those troubling times. Night falls, and I begin again my lonely and involuntary vigil. No softly snoring sleep will come to unknot my belly, or to calm my restless spirit, flickering like a moth in a jar. My flesh is hanging heavy, but I drag myself outside, breathing deeply in the dark, feeding on the dank, damp air. The starlight, slight but pure, hints at the vast space above. The earth resolutely pulls me down, promising the final piece of standing stone, of chambered cairn, of the silence before the dawn when the chill seeps bone deep. I am as still in my solitude as the heron on one leg, endlessly watching at the weir. Even he now sleeps, with head folded under wing, until he sails the morning mists once more. The edges of myself begin to blur, becoming one with the night, pulsing with the heartbeat of the earth. Then you are with me, folding me into your cloak, wrapping me into your mystery. Memories of ancestral fires flicker, warming my blood, figures dancing, smoke curling, kindling hope in my heart, which rises with the small sparks high into the frozen air. We stand shoulder to shoulder, facing the faint light of dawn. I hear the small sounds of life stirring all around me, and know that I too will turn my face towards the sun and welcome in the day. Blessed be.
We are going to have a message from Cerridwen, but we're going to journey to meet her. So I want everyone to make themselves comfortable, settle down, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. And another. And picture yourself walking down a lane. As you turn the corner, stretched out before you, you see the silvery waters of Clintaged. You walk along a path until you reach the beach. It's late afternoon. The little bit of winter sunshine is still showing in the gap between two very large hills. But you know, very soon it will be dark. You've been told
that Cerridwen has a message for you, that she wants to see you. And you're not sure how that's going to be achieved. There's nothing on the beach to tell you. So eventually you decide you're going to take a walk and have a think about your problems and clear your head in the fresh breeze blowing off the lake. You can hear the gentle splosh of the waves against the shore, moved against it by that breeze. You can hear the leaves that are still left on the trees rustling, and the ones under your feet crackling, along with the odd dead twig. Underneath your feet too are many pebbles, and at one point you bend down to take a closer look. One in particular catches your eye, for it sparkles in the last few rays of sunshine, and you pick it up. It's white quartz, but down there it had looked like diamonds. For some reason, not knowing quite why, you pick it up and put it in your pocket, and then you notice the grey, long stones, thin ones, the ones people call Cerridwen's fingers. And again, you pick up just one and pop it in your pocket with the quartz. You carry on along the lakeside, looking at the water splashing around stone-covered roots. You can see where the tide has been higher, thanks to the heavy rains and winter storms that have come in the last week. But the waters have receded enough for you to carry on walking until you realise that the sun has now dropped and it will soon be dark. So you decide to turn back again, back to the beach where you first arrived. You can hear a blackbird in a tree calling its last evening song, and a few dark shapes flitter out from the woods, and you realise that not all the bats are hibernating yet. One or two are still out, catching the last of the insects. You get back to that first beach, and you stand there, eyes closed, wondering what you're doing here, trying to meet a goddess. And then you hear a new noise, not the gentle splosh of the waves on the beach, but something different, a splash, like oars hitting the water, like waves hitting the side of a wooden boat. And as you open your eyes, you see, yes, there is a boat there. And gradually it gets nearer and nearer you. You peer forward into the dusk, trying to make out what's going on. There's a figure at the back of the boat and a figure at the front. The one at the front extends out a hand, and you realise it's a woman. And you wonder, was it one of Cerridwen's handmaidens? Or could it be Cerridwen herself, come to take you? She indicates to you that you climb in the boat, and as you settle down into your seat, she offers you a blanket and says, it can be cold on the lake this time of year. She says this with a gentle Welsh lilt. You realise that the reason why you couldn't make out the other shapes in the boat was because they too are swathed in a blanket against the chill. And the boat turns and makes its way across the lake with a splish splosh of the oars. into the gathering gloom. And then ahead of you, you can make out an even darker shape, where once you could see to the other side of the lake. There's now, inexplicably, an island, and it's there that the boat is heading. You hear the crunch as it comes ashore across the pebbles, and the lady steps forward and out and helps everyone off the boat. Then she leads you up the path off the beach and along a track. As you round the corner of some rocks, you see there stretched below you a valley, and on the side of the hill, in a slight niche, there's a low building built to withstand the waves of the air that batters it in the storms. A low grey building, a castle, but not a tall one. The lady walks you towards the castle. From somewhere she's obtained a lantern, and she picks away, and you all follow her. When she gets there, she pauses at the entrance with a huge oak door studded with great nails and a huge bolt. And as she touches it, it swings open silently, and you think to yourself, it must be Cerridwen. Who else could command a castle gate to open at a mere touch? She takes you across the darkened courtyard, up through another door, not quite as large, but still made of that solid oak. And as your eyes get accustomed again from the gloom to the room with its bright torches and candles on the wall, you realise you're in a hall, a huge hall, with a great big fire at the end that's really welcome on this evening. The flames flicker, casting shadows. All around the room are comfortable couches, and the lady indicates to all of you that you sit and take your place there. She won't be long, she says. And then she turns to face the large staircase on her left. It's a big staircase, quite a bit wider than you expect from a castle, and it curves halfway up. So you sit there and wait and wonder what Cerridwen wants to say to you that's so important that she should send her daughter across to fetch you. And then you hear a door close upstairs and you catch your breath. This must be her, you think. And sure enough, with a rustle of rich fabric, you begin to hear somebody coming down those steps. And as she comes into view round that last bend of the staircase, you see a woman's figure in a black cloak and hood. It's open a little at the front, and you see her dress, which is also dark, is edged with gold embroidery round the bottom, round the bodice, and round her waist there's a gold woven belt of some kind, and on it is hanging a large bunch of keys and a bag, a small black bag. You can't see her face yet because of the hood. But as you look at her, half awed, half curious, you see one long dark tress escape from the hood. And as she leans towards you, you get ready to hear her message. Blessed be.
Hear me, children. Can you see me? Can you see your goddess? Can you be with me now? Hear me. I have heard your cries, your pitiful cries. They have been ringing in my ears. How you suffer, how you moan and groan, how you fear, how you find yourself in sorrow, unease and dis-ease. Hear me, children. I have lifted the veils between our world, Anun, and your world, so that you may see me and hear my voice. You ask for succor from us here in the other world. You ask us to lift your burden. You call to us and cry to us. I tell you now that the solution lies in your hands. The healing lies in your hands. The solution, the knowledge of what to do lies in your heart. We send you symbols and signs. You need to see them, hear them, feel them in your heart. If you wish to know what the future may bring, look up into the sky and read the clouds. Follow the pathway of the birds. See the heron come over you. Watch its movements and relearn the knowledge of all that your ancestors once knew. Your ancestors who dwell here are urging you to hear, see, and feel once again all that is necessary to live in the world that you have created. We have given you this earth pristine. You are the descendants of ancestors that worked hard to keep the world a better place for all. And we have observed and watched, never judged, what you have done with it. It is time to take responsibility. Only together can you be truly saved. Stop the competition. Stop the fighting. Stop the fear of others. You are all our children. We love you equally, unconditionally. And when you suffer, I suffer. I am your mother, and all I see is my children squabbling. Find your courage to live your life and be empowered. It is time to grow up. It is time to take care of everyone. It is time to sing the songs of the ancients. It is time to find your joy again, the joy of living and dying and being born again. This life is not the only life you have. Live it well, but don't fear death. It comes whether you fear it or not, and you will be reborn in Anun and join me on this side of the shore. I promise you, you will be safe and loved. I bless you with abundance of love and care. I bless you, children of the earth.
I will just give everybody a moment to digest that. A very powerful message. I would like to talk to you this evening about the bravery and resilience of women through the ages. And this applies to us all. First of all, I just wanted to discuss with you at the role that women in real life versus folklore are portrayed at. It tends to be the patriarchy that portrays us in folklore as these gentle, persecuted beauties. We are rarely heroines, and a key factor in all of that, as I'm sure you'll all agree with me, is Disney. In Disney films, us women are evil stepmothers. We're captured helpless princesses with a wise old crone, but we're evil. Where are the real heroines? Where are the mother's journeys? And where is the different kind of love? There are many, many stories of heroism. There is many stories of courage and bravery. I would like to touch on one, and this was in World War II. I don't know if anybody has heard of these, but there was a group of women in World War II called the Night Witches. These were Russian women bombers who bombed German lines. Amazing group of women, a group of women just like you and I. But the bombing planes that they flew in were the oldest, noisiest, crappiest planes ever. And they set off in these planes. And because they were so noisy, they were going to be obviously alerted and fired at by the Germans. So these witches, as they were called, had to actually climb out of their aeroplanes to stop the propellers before they started coasting down to their targets. Once they'd hit their targets, the bravery of these women before they actually hit the ground had to climb out of the aircraft again to restart the propellers. And do you know that these women, the leader of the Night Witches in World War II, she flew over 200 missions and she was never captured. An amazing story. There are many heroines through the ages and great women. I am actually related to Eleanor of Aquitaine, and my family all carry the Eleanor cross because of it. She again was an amazing heroine who fought in battles in Europe and who was brave and mighty. But not all women are famous in film or history for their bravery or resilience. I sit here tonight looking at all of you sisters. I see a Pauline, a Patricia, a Cindy. I see a Gabby and a Ali and Alison. I see an Alina. All you sisters are just as brave, because I'm sure all of you make that small difference every day to help those around you, to show love and kindness. Yesterday was International Day of Giving and Kindness, and I know our sister Fern is going to talk about that further in a minute. But let me share with you, sisters, that you are all brave, that you are all just as resilient as those witch night bombers. You are all as brave as Eleanor of Aquitaine in your own way. And tonight we are sending that healing energy out into the world. And please take that energy with you and share it with all your loved ones and who you come in touch with, because this is about us sharing that healing love and energy to hopefully end this pandemic and to follow in Cerridwen's words. Thank you all for sharing with me. Blessed be.
Blessed be, Sister Pippa. We're going to continue with all this marvelous story that Sister Pippa was telling us, and the wise words of Cerridwen. What we're going to do is we're going to create, because we are creators of what we have. We are creators of our life, of the good and the bad. We are our own creators. And for that, there's a beautiful technique that probably many of you are aware of, and it's called Ho'oponopono, which is from Hawaii. And what we're going to do it today about, we will focus on the part of us that impedes us from feeling this joy of life, from feeling the joy that we are. And so what we're going to do, we will close our eyes and I will ask you to repeat some words after me. And afterwards, you will say 4 beautiful things to yourself for being the creator of your life. The idea of us being the creator means that as we create things that maybe we don't like so much, we take responsibility for this creation. And what we say to ourselves are 4 beautiful words. You say, I'm sorry to yourself. I'm sorry for having put me into this situation. I really feel it. I am sorry. Forgive me because I'm going through this hardship. Please forgive me. I love you because through love, I bring healing. I leave hatred aside, and love is a powerful tool to heal. And thank you, because whatever comes out of this healing, I will accept. Not what my mind wants, but what is best for my soul. So I would like to ask you to unmute yourselves. You can actually turn on your microphone now. If you think that you have too much noise, keep it muted. You can unmute yourselves. And if you'd like to close your eyes for a moment, just take a deep breath in and out. And in again. And out. And in our heart, we feel the light that we are. We feel the joy that we are. We feel our soul. And from here, I would like you to focus on that part that maybe is impeding you to feel this joy of living, this joy of being here today and now, no matter in which circumstances you are. What part of me is impeding myself? And I would like to ask you to repeat after me. I ask for forgiveness.
Yes.
I ask for forgiveness.
I ask for forgiveness.
And I forgive myself.
I forgive
I
myself.
forgive myself.
I forgive myself.
I forgive myself
For the part of me
The part of
Part of me
For the part of me
that impedes me
that impedes
that
me
impedes me
from feeling the joy that life gives.
from feeling the
from
joy
feeling the
that
joy
life
that life
gives.
is.
From feeling the joy I know I have.
from feeling the
From
joy.
Feeling the joy
joy I
that
know
I
I
have.
have.
From feeling and being the joy I know I am.
Feeling
Joy
and
Feeling
being the joy
being
I
the
know
joy I know I
oh,
am.
I have.
I'm
I am.
sorry.
I'm
Forgive
sorry.
me. I
Forgive
love
me.
you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I'm
Sorry.
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 Forgive
Forgive
me.
Love
me.
you.
Forgive me.
I love
I love
you.
I
you.
love you.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
I'm
you.
I'm
sorry.
Forgive
sorry.
I'm
me. I
Forgive
love
sorry.
me.
you.
I
Forgive
love
me.
you.
I
I
love
love
I
you.
I'm
thank you.
sorry.
Thank
I'm
Forgive
sorry.
me.
Forgive
I love
me.
I'm
you.
I
sorry.
love
Sorry.
you.
Thank you.
Forgive
I
you.
thank
I'm
you.
I love you.
sorry.
I
Forgive
thank you.
me.
Love
I'm
you.
I
sorry.
love you.
Forgive me.
Thank you.
I love you.
I'm
I thank
sorry.
you.
Sorry.
I'm
Forgive
I'm
me.
sorry.
I
sorry.
love
Forgive me.
you.
Please
Forgive
Thank
forgive
me.
you.
me.
I
I
love
I
love
love
I'm
you.
you.
sorry.
I
I love
thank
you.
you.
Forgive
I
me.
thank
I
you.
love you.
Forgive
Thank
I'm
you.
me.
sorry.
I'm
sorry.
Forgive me.
sorry.
Sorry.
I
Forgive
love
me.
you.
Forgive
I
I'm
me.
love
Thank
you.
you.
I
sorry.
love
Thank
you.
you.
And
Thank
I'm
I'm
you.
sorry.
sorry.
Forgive
Forgive
me.
me.
I
I
love
sorry.
love
you.
you.
I
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I'm
I'm
Thank
sorry.
sorry.
you.
Forgive me.
Forgive
Forgive
me.
Love
me. I
you.
I
love
love
you.
Thank
you.
you.
I
Thank
thank
you.
I'm
you.
sorry.
Thank
Forgive
I'm
you.
me.
sorry.
I
Forgive
love
me.
Forgive me.
you.
I
Thank
love
I love
you.
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 I thank
I'm
you.
Thank you.
sorry. Forgive
I'm
me.
sorry.
I love
Forgive
you.
I'm
me.
Thank
sorry.
I
you.
love you.
Forgive
I
I'm
me.
thank you.
I
sorry.
love you.
Forgive me.
I'm
I
Thank
love
sorry.
you.
you.
Forgive
Thank
me.
you.
I love you.
I'm sorry. Forgive
I'm
me.
sorry.
I love you.
Forgive me.
Thank you.
I love you.
I'm
I thank
sorry.
you.
Forgive
I'm
me.
Forgive
I
sorry.
love
me.
you.
I
Forgive
love
me.
you.
Thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
you.
I'm sorry.
Forgive me.
Forgive
Sorry.
me.
I'm
I
sorry.
love
Forgive me.
you.
Forgive me.
Thank you.
I love
I'm
you. I
sorry.
thank you.
Forgive
Thank
me.
you.
I
I'm
love
sorry.
you.
I'm
Thank
Forgive
you.
me.
sorry.
I love
I'm
you.
sorry.
I thank you.
Forgive
Forgive
me.
me.
I
I'm
love
I
sorry.
love
you.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Forgive me.
you.
I'm
Forgive
I
me.
love
sorry.
you.
Love
Forgive
Sorry.
me.
Thank
I
you.
love
Forgive
you.
me. I
I'm
Thank
love
you.
sorry.
you. Thank
Forgive
you.
I'm
me.
sorry.
I love you.
Forgive
Forgive
me. I
me.
love
Forgive me.
you.
I
Thank
I'm
love
you.
sorry.
you.
I'm
I love
Forgive me.
sorry.
you.
Forgive
I
Thank
love
me.
you.
I
you.
love
I thank
you.
you.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
I'm
sorry.
sorry. Forgive
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 me.
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 I love
I love
you.
Love
you.
Thank
you.
you.
I
Thank
thank
you.
I'm
you.
sorry. Forgive me. I
Sorry.
Sorry.
love
Forgive
you.
me.
Thank you.
I love
I'm
you.
Love you.
sorry. Forgive
Love
me.
Thank
I
you.
love you.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry.
I'm
Forgive me.
sorry.
I love
Forgive
you.
me. I
I'm
love you.
sorry.
Thank you.
I'm
Forgive me.
sorry.
I'm
I love
sorry.
Forgive
you.
me.
Forgive me. I love
Thank
you.
you.
Forgive me. I
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I'm
Forgive me.
Forgive
I
sorry.
love
me.
Forgive
you.
I
Thank
me.
love
you.
you.
I
I
love
I'm
thank
you.
you.
sorry.
Thank
Forgive
you.
me. I
I'm
love
sorry.
you. Thank
Forgive
you.
I'm
me. I
I'm
love you.
sorry.
sorry.
I thank
Forgive
you.
me.
Forgive
I love
me.
you.
I
Thank
love
you.
you.
I'm
Thank
Thank
you.
sorry.
you.
Forgive
I'm
me. I
sorry.
love
I thank
Forgive me.
you.
I love you. Thank you.
you. Forgive me. I love you. I thank you.
Stay with your eyes closed for a moment. And from this joy that I create, from this joy that I know that I am, I allow myself to feel it, to live it, no matter what. And whenever you're ready, with a big smile on your face, saying thank you to yourself. You can open your eyes. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Thank you, Leah. That was so powerful. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I am Hope, and I would like to read you a poem called I Feel You. This poem is to help those who have lost others in spirit, but know that they are with you and are giving you their love. And so I begin. In the elements, I feel you. The breeze gusts by, and you speak to me. The rain falls, and you touch my face. The earth, as I walk, brings the dance that we shared. The fire, that flame of your spirit. Each day, a memory to carry with me. Moments of laughter, joy, and sadness too. A roller coaster of a ride to remind me of you. Your smile in songs we used to sing, still waiting for the phone to ring as I start my day without you. I feel you. Next, I would like very much for us all to do the Arwens. In the Arwens, we always do 3. And this is to raise the energy and bring forward Cerridwen. And with a deep breath, we begin. Thank you, sisters and brothers, and know that Cerridwen guides you on your path. Blessed be.
Hi everybody. I'd like to share my screen with you if you don't mind, as I am going to honor someone that was a deeply beloved sister of ours. Hannah de Madrid died a few weeks ago after a very short illness. And she was one of those people that you would never forget. Not just was she kind and compassionate and deeply devotional and a beautiful priestess and conference. She had her own temple in Madrid that she kept going no matter what was put in her place, what obstacle. But she had that kind of smile that no matter how sad you were or how bad your day was, she smiled and the whole world smiled with her. Hannah has gone. Her body, in which her soul was incarnated this time, has left us, and it has left a deep feeling of loss to all of our sisters and brothers who've known Hannah and worked with her and celebrated Goddess with her. In our tradition, we believe that we go to the shores and wait for our other sisters there, the shores of Anun, where Cerridwen lives. And I'm absolutely certain that I can see her, our new ancestor, sitting there with the other women who have gone before her. Julie Felix, Lydia Rule, Coco, Pia Fuchsen, just to name a few of our sisters. And I'd like to honor all of our ancestors of blood and bone and of tradition and faith tonight. Hannah had an infectious laugh. She could see the funny side of everything, and she loved life. And if she could have done, she would have stayed with us. It wasn't to be, and now she dwells with Goddess. And here in Avalon, we sing a song for those of our ancestors who've gone before us in honor of them. It's a Caroline Hillier song, and I'd like to sing that for you, but I'd like to also sing it with you, for you to sing with me if you know it. And I'm going to sing it through twice. Buzzard, call you back to the wild land. Heron, fly home. Journey to the soul of your own land, where the mothers wait for your return. Heron, fly you home. Buzzard, call you back to the wild land. Heron, fly home. Journey to the soul of your own land, where the mothers wait for your return. Heron, fly you home. Beloved Hannah, we miss you deeply, and our grief is solemn. But we also celebrate your life, celebrate the joy you brought, celebrate every moment we spent together. And until not so long from now, when we see you again. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thank you, sister, for that tribute. I want to go back and remind us all that yesterday was World Kindness Day. And I think that the way the world is at the moment, there's so much fear and worry about survival, that little things like kindness and community and sharing really have taken a back seat. So I want to remind you of a few things. If we go back to our early ancestors, and we all had them, because if we didn't, we wouldn't be here now. They lived in tribes. And the only way a tribe who could survive, because they didn't have Sainsbury's or anything like that, was they had to work together. If somebody found a good supply of apples, they'd send one of the children running back and say to everybody else, hey, come along, we found apples. We don't know this for definite, but it's pretty certain that they did do, because, as I said, we wouldn't be here otherwise. So if we come forward in time to a time where people of my generation heard stories from the generation before us, they're talking about the war years, And the war years was hard for many reasons. And one of them was the fact that the food supply was often disrupted. Everybody was on rations and there wasn't much extra to go round. And women still had hungry children to feed. And they often didn't have many resources. So what the women did, and I'm certain the men did as well, but there weren't so many of them around because they, feeling very sorry for them here, were off fighting or doing jobs to help the war effort, would club together. And you would say when you were putting out the washing, I've got coal, but I've got nothing to cook for dinner. And one of your neighbours would say, well, I've got loads of carrots. Somebody else would have something else. And between you all, probably 5 or 6 families, you would be able to put a meal together to feed the children. If it come to dinner times, one person would have bread. Somebody else might have margarine, very little butter, unless you're on a farm, or jam, or something else. You could feed children. This happened through community. If you were growing one thing on your allotment, you made sure that your neighbour was growing something else so that you could share. It was about community. It was the community that kept them together. It was the community that helped them. And when somebody was grieving, the community went round and they helped. It was literally about community. There was also the other great thing, which we can't do nowadays because of health, safety and checks and everything else. Whereas if a woman managed to get a job to bring money into the community, then another woman would take in her children so that she could just go off and didn't have to worry. My own dad talks about a marvellous woman called Mrs. Ickney, who had 5 children of her own and then took in 4 feral children, and believe me, they were feral, actually taught them how to at least write their names so they could sign for their wages and things, taught them manners and various other things. And the world was full of women like her, with big hearts that could just open things up, could turn their hand to everything, make a meal out of almost anything, was very, very good at networking. So she always managed to feed 9 children. This is something we don't think about nowadays. So let's come back forward in time and we talk about now. Times are very, very different. It's very, very hard for a lot of people. Since the shutdown and everything, so many people have lost their jobs. So many people are on benefits and it isn't their fault. One of the things about benefits is if you don't know your way around the system, you're probably getting less than you're entitled to anyway. If you're working but your hours have been cut, or you're only on 80% of your wages, if you're on low wages, 80% of low wages is really far too low. Hence, everybody's at the food banks. And the food banks do an amazing job. Now, you can sit back and say, oh, well, you know, there's people there that don't deserve it. Don't think about that. Think about all those poor people that do deserve it. Think about the father with the 3 kids that he's trying to feed. Think about the mother who's on her own and trying to bring up hers. Life is hard. So I'm going to talk about spreading kindness here. And as I said, very few of us have got extra money at the moment. Very few of us can work and there's too many demands on what we bring in. But have you thought that when you go into the supermarket and they do the buy one, get one free, or the buy 2 and get a 3rd free, how often you don't really need that extra? It's like a bauble, it shines in front of you. You think, oh yeah, I'll get that, get a free one. And then it sits in the cupboard. Why don't you donate that bit to the food bank? if your trees have still got gluts of apples on them, why not ask if your neighbours want them of apple pies or something? Or take some of them round to the food bank. There's so many little things you can do. Even just waving at your neighbours. It lifts someone's day. Spread a bit of kindness. We can't really smile now because most of us are wearing masks. But you can still wave. And we all need to be lifted. We all need to have some joy in our lives. We all need just to think that somebody else has noticed us. It's very, very healing. So I thought what we would do is we're going to help with the healing. We're going to help with kindness and healing and joy and love and all those marvellous things. So I'm going to ask everybody to participate, because we did warn you, you have to participate in this. And I'm going to ask you all to start rubbing your hands together. So after you've rubbed your hands together for a little while, I'm going to talk you through this really carefully. We're going to make energy balls, and we're going to send them off so that Cerridwen can put them wherever she thinks they're needed. Now, the scientists will tell you you have an electric field around your body. People in our line of work tend to call it an aura. But they'll also tell you that it can be affected by your health, the way you think, and many, many things. So now you've rubbed your hands and your hands are all tingly, I want you to start bringing them apart and putting them back together again. And you will at one point find there's almost a resistance that you can bounce on. Yeah? Well, it's actually a bit further out than that. But it might only be an inch apart. It doesn't matter. We don't worry about how big it is. And what you're going to do is you're going to concentrate on that feeling. And you're going to just think of how you can fill it with love and kindness and healing. And the more you think about it, you can then start imagining it to be a glowing ball of light. And keep bouncing it, keep making sure you know where the edges are. You can go over the top and the bottom of it. And you might find the more that you think about it and think about sending kindness and sending love and sending healing, that it actually starts to get bigger and you actually start to be more aware of it. So use your imagination. If you can't feel anything, imagine it being there. It'll have the same effect. And I think by now we've probably all got an energy ball in front of us. So don't worry if it's small, don't worry if it's very big. And what I want us to do is when I count to 3, I want you to throw that up into the air. So 1, 2, 3. Now you can imagine all those energy balls going up into the air. And we're going to ask Cerridwen, take this energy, this kindness, this love, this healing, and put it where it will do the most good. Thank you for participating with me. Blessed be.
I'll now open the circle. May the circle be open, but unbroken. May the love of Goddess be forever in your heart. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.
Merry part, and merry meet again.
Merry part, merry meet again.
Merry meet.
merry part, and merry meet again.
Merry meet again.
Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.
Merry meet, merry part, merry meet
Merry
again.
meet, merry part, and merry meet
Elaine,
again.
would you like to give us your closing prayer?
Yes, indeed I would. Beloved Cerridwen, I want to thank you for this gathering here tonight, for this chance to again reconnect with kindness and love, the importance of community, and let it spread throughout the land. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
That is the end of our dark moon ritual tonight. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for being participants in raising that energy and vibration. You have all been amazing. Thank you for all you've contributed. And I hope that you can join us next month on our next dark moon ritual. And thank you to everybody that took part tonight. And goodbye and good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Blessings. Have a wonderful
Blessed be.
Thank you so much, my dear.
Thank
Blessed be.
you. Thank you. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed
Blessed
be.
be.